We are back here at the Hearthstone World Championships, day number 2 for opening weekend. Azale's joining Ben Broden and myself on the couch.
Hello.
How'd you like that first series?
It was great, man. I honestly, we were, I was talking with Artosis, and we were thinking that G2 was going to take it. Tiddler Celestial.
It looked like he could have.
Was looking pretty darn good in that series.
Yeah, and the opening hand from the Warrior in the last game looked magnificent.
Really good.
It was perfect.
Yeah. But to
And
be fair,
Hunter still won.
Tiddler Celestial still had some very good draws himself.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Yes.
And unfortunately, a D2 drew poorly from every card after his opening hand.
Yeah.
So that's Hearthstone. That's card games at its core, right? Sometimes you run good, sometimes you feel like you run good, and it just doesn't end up working out anyways. But your D2's not out of it yet, and we'll see him later on. And meanwhile, we're going to get ready for our next series, which is Number Guy versus
so
Tom
excited.
60229. Oh, actually, excuse me. I believe our next series is Kaor versus Nicolas.
Oh.
We actually have a schedule showing up for you. Tom 60229 versus Number Guy is going to be happening later on. We're going straight to the winners of each match.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Kaor made a lot of fans yesterday with his interview, talking about how he wanted to be able to open up his the bookstore with his girlfriend and stuff.
He's so charming.
I think that is absolutely awesome. I think that definitely it's fun to see the personality come out from some of the players, in the interviews, in these segments, because you might see them in tournaments, but you don't always get a chance to really feel like you get to know them. And I think with some of the segments and stuff that we've had here and some of the interviews, it's been awesome. It feels like you actually start to get to know the players and start to have some real fan favorites.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool. He wants to open up a bookstore. That's not the first thing that I would do if I won BlizzCon.
What would you do?
I would probably invest closer to the Golden Collection here at Hearthstone, but I'd also probably try to find a place to live, because right now I'm actually just living in hotels from place to place for the past week.
Oh god.
Maybe I'd take a trip to visit Kaor in Italy.
Yeah.
I've never
Maybe
been
you'd
there.
go to his bookstore.
Yeah, I'd buy a book from his bookstore. How about that? I'd be his primary investor.
Yep, there you go.
So let's take a look at the lineups here. Nicolas banned the Druid. These Chinese players and Asian players in general have interesting ban selections sometimes.
So what is the extra deck for Kaor? Because it shows that his Druid was banned, but it still shows Druid. So is his fourth deck a Warlock?
It might be a Hunter.
Hunter? Okay, so yeah, so that is a mistake then. So it is actually going to be the Hunter, not the Druid that he is playing, because his Druid was banned. But yeah, and he's actually not teamless anymore. He did reveal yesterday in the interview that he did get picked up. Forgive me, I can't actually remember the name of the team. Maybe you guys can help me out. I'm not sure, but he was picked up on an all-Italian team, so he does have that going for him. And he said that he actually practiced with all of them for BlizzCon.
Yeah, but now he's taking it a little bit more seriously, which is good, because for a while he's only been playing Hearthstone for a few months. That's right, you guys who are watching.
Yeah,
I mean, this could be you.
Could be you, right?
Kaor's the guy.
You could have your own bookstore.
Exactly.
He's selling gadgets too. Who knows what that could be?
Kaor has a lot of interesting things that we didn't know about him prior to coming here, but we also have a video to get to know him even more.
Yeah.
It is Kaor from Italy, the player that no one really expected. I mean, let alone he didn't expect to be here.
I come from Palermo. It's in Italian country. I never leave Italy. It's my first time, so I was afraid. I was just too nervous. I don't know why. I am a bodybuilder. I practice bodybuilding from like 8 years, but now I have my children, so I stop. I am playing for my girlfriend and my boy. They are so happy, very, very, very happy. My girlfriend, they was the reason because I am here. She tell me, you have to play this game and go to BlizzCon.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Kaor he just qualified for BlizzCon.
I just want to open my shop with my girlfriend, with the money. It's gadget and video games. It's actually my dream, and maybe now it's real. I don't know.
Look at that. Maybe one day he'll be hosting his own fireside gatherings in Italy for Hearthstone if he can open up his own shop. That'd be really cool.
That would be cool.
That was a really emotional video.
Yeah.
It was.
I'm telling you, man, I love Kaor. He is. I think he's going all the way, you guys.
I hope so, man. But
I thought so too back when I had the first time I talked to Kaor, we had this very interesting interaction where I think I was speaking a little too fast because English isn't his strongest language. But after we got past that point, he's actually a really sweet guy, really sensitive, and like he really cares a lot about all the people he's involved with. He says he's here because of his girlfriend and his child. So I mean, he's definitely a guy you can root for if you're a family man.
yeah.
My favorite part about Kaor, he did not ban Nicolas's Paladin deck.
Ah, that's right. Nicolas, he is the OGN Season 2 champion. He's bringing Paladin, so he's a tournament winner, and he's got some balls, to say the least. Paladin has been a class that people have been staying away from because they feel like they can't rely upon it. But this time around, Nicolas is going to summon Uther in this series in order to help him.
We have not seen that deck at all, the whole series.
Yeah.
So,
Should be very exciting, and is going to be a priest versus priest to start things off. You guys just saw one last time. I mean,
Man.
Artosis was kind of joking around a little bit, talking about the key just being whoever has Ysera for more turns is going to be the one who wins. Do you feel like that's pretty accurate?
It could be a big influential factor. I also like to think the person who can get the strong board early on might find a small hole to win the game. In fact, the last time we casted Priest versus Priest with Ben and Reels, we didn't see fatigue at all. It was very much in the mid game, and one player was able to press for the win. So a lot of it oriented around that board. If Nicolas can find that spot, Kaor can find that spot, they can easily find a spot to win. All right, so Harrison Jones already going to have to sit this one out, but unless he's going to just be played as a 5-4 vanilla, but in terms of his special effect battle cry, no weapons to be had.
Is someone injured?
Yeah, having the cleric early on can really be pretty nice here. But one thing that was kind of interesting also, Artosis was talking about how careful you have to be in what minions you play, because he was saying there are some actual legitimate strategies where you can make your opponent overdraw because it goes to fatigue very often in priest versus priest. So something that you do have to be a little bit careful with.
why wouldn't if you're Nicolas, why wouldn't you Shadow Word Pain that Northshire Cleric?
Right away.
There are really high priority targets in the priest deck.
Like Soul Priest and
Yes.
Dark Cultist and things like that. Those are all 3 attack and lower. So
Sludge Belcher?
yeah, there you go.
Now it's like, well, I actually have to deal with this 1/5. It can get carried away. Card advantage is so important in the control mirrors.
Oh, it's a good thing he did, because he could have drawn a card off of
He does have the Blade Master Circle.
Yeah, the Blade Master Circle, and that would have, with that Northshire Cleric in play still, that would have been even more tough to deal with.
I've had a hard time passing that up.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably going to go for it. He wants to think it through. Consider all his options. Obviously, he does have the coin available, so it is possible for him to make a couple different moves if he decides to go for it. But it's looking like it will be that. And getting that minion down can be so difficult, because we know the 4 attack minions are really tough for Priest to deal with. You can't paint it and you can't death it. So neither of those cards are going to be there for that free removal.
Yeah, and well, Nicolas's best response is to Power Word Shield, and so have his own miniature injured Blade Master, so to speak, the younger brother. Although unfairly pegging a lot of younger brothers to be smaller than their older brothers. It's not necessarily the case. You're definitely the older brother, right, Ben, bro? You're just this big, jolly giant. You are Mountain Giant.
I am the oldest and the largest in both directions.
Oh. Well,
The fattest and the tallest.
words. You also are the one that's most beloved in the family, too. I can Your parents always gave you extra portions at dinner. You can't fool me, Ben.
It's just an all-out fight when dinner comes to the table. We just have to eat as fast
That's right.
as
Is that why Brawl is your favorite card?
Exactly.
Because you fought for dinner
Just
every
family
night.
dinner. Yeah.
Only one child can get fed tonight. Ding, 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 ding. It's like, well, Ben, we need a removal card for Warrior class. Do you have any ideas? And you're like thinking about your child.
Just ring the dinner bell and everybody fights.
All right, so Nicolas is going to answer Sludge Belcher with his own Sludge Belcher. It's just a cold war, so to speak. Neither player can really address each other's board, but this is where cards like Shadow Madness and Shadow Word Pain, like you said before, could have big value if he picks it up.
Yeah, and I mean, do you think he's regretting at all using that Shadow Word Pain earlier?
Nicolas?
In the game now, yeah. Not having it available for the Sludge Belcher does hurt a little bit, but perhaps just doesn't think he could have afforded to give up those card draws.
The only thing that you might end up regretting is the fact that you wasted mana while doing it. Because he used it on turn 3 instead of dropping the Dark Cultist up. But I think seeing how the game develops, you don't really regret it now.
Yeah.
And I love that attack sound off the Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, the burp. Remind you of family dinner as well.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
We
I guess if you want to know what's the upcoming expansions or content for Hearthstone, just ask Ben Brode.
Family
about
stories.
childhood.
Yeah, the next adventure.
Yeah. Well, now you can deal with that injured Blade Master. Good news for Nicolas.
Yeah.
But
He won't be able to get a total board clear, but he can at least just have the slime left. So,
Yeah.
you know, having some sort of a semblance of board control now. But still, you know, it's a pretty powerful hand here for Kaor.
yeah, but he can remove now with his own Arcanized Soul Priest, and that's where the ultimate triumph comes for Kaor. He's the one with the final say and initiative on the board.
And especially, you know, wasting that Death Rattle. The Death Rattle isn't going to be able to give, you know, additional 3 HP to another minion, which can actually, you know, be one of the most powerful parts of that card.
Oh,
It's so funny. It's so rare that that death rattle goes off. It's so
Yeah.
easy to play around.
Yeah, I mean, the players are definitely
Are you
very
disappointed?
careful about it.
I just think it's interesting, right?
It certainly is. But, you know, it's one of those most powerful cards where they realize if they let that go off, that's one of the ways for them to get really far behind their opponents.
Yeah. You know, and Nicolas does have the mind control in hand, which can be a, you know, definitely a game-changing card here later in the matchup, especially if we do see Ysera come out.
Man, that Arcanized Soul Priest hero power is so good.
Battle of the Belchers.
I'm pretty sure we saw a similar situation earlier in this game. I'm having a glitch in the Matrix moment. Where I'm like,
The Matrix has been changed.
pretty sure like 3 Artosises in white black suits are gonna jump on me supreme with sunglasses and pin me down.
Whoa.
Throw me out of here. I wouldn't complain either. Artosis looks good in suits.
Oh,
3 of
yeah.
them would be like, eh.
You don't have to tell us about your dreams, Dan. Look, this is a private time for you,
Last
okay,
night.
Dan? This is a family stream. It's a
Well, Nicolas is caught between pretty tough positions. Again, you can't really easily bust through. Harrison Jones gets easily
Dashed
sniped.
easily, or
So
just figure
Sludge
out,
Belcher
yeah.
seems like to be your best course of action. But once again,
Not the most desirable play.
Right, initiative belongs to your opponent, where he has hero power to greatly influence the minions on board.
Interesting that he doesn't attack in with the Blade Master there. What do you think about that?
He doesn't want to get cleared by just like the Arcanized Soul Priest
Circle of
combos.
Healing or something, yeah. Okay.
Now,
Sludge Belchers. And there's still a Sludge Belcher in the hand of Kaor.
oh man,
Never-ending Belchers.
Yeah.
he stole one of those Belchers, didn't he?
Oh, wow.
With Thought Steal. So there's an interesting tally where like you might start getting confused. Like, wait, didn't you already play 2 Belchers? Okay,
Yeah.
this has to be the last Belcher then.
Does have a Holy Fire in hand. I think he's probably going to go for it.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to finish it off
It's
with the hero
painful.
power. But I think it's definitely well worth.
Why not
Yeah.
attack this Sludge Belcher with both of your minions here? Is it because you know you can't heal with that Arcanized Soul Priest out, so health is so important?
I think once again just trying to avoid, you know, an easy clear from his opponent and stuff.
Right, Holy Fire would be devastating on the board if he attacked both of them.
Holy Nova.
Or yeah, sorry, Holy Nova.
Yeah. Is it time for Harrison?
I think it is.
Who are you talking to, Harrison? Who are you talking to? Like nobody. I was talking to myself. Teray. I actually just noticed that. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I looked at his name. I was like,
It wasn't that before.
No.
It just changed.
Little misstep there. Our
Yeah.
apologies.
How do you pronounce? How does it pronounce? It's Kaor?
Kaor.
Kaor. Okay.
Quar. You know, I'm not sure if it is, but I asked him if that was how you pronounce it, and he said yes. So
Maybe-
I'll trust
maybe
him.
it's
He was
just being
either
too
being
nice.
polite,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
or
probably
that is
being
how you
polite.
pronounce
He's
He's
it.
like, this
no.
guy's never gonna get it. Forget it.
Yes,
Yeah, if we have another interview with him, we'll have to pin him down on the pronunciation.
absolutely. So once again, I think it's definitely the best to leverage your hero power as much as you can with the Arcanized Soul Priest. Capitalize on the fact that you have this really powerful double damage mage hero power, and just trade for free cards for nothing.
That's the 5th Sludge Belcher this game.
Yeah.
is it going to be the last Sludge
Change
Belcher?
your mind.
Yeah, it has to be, right?
Do you think he Holy
Can't
Smites
thought
this
steal it
line?
away.
Holy Smite with Pyromancer in hand is so
Yeah.
powerful. I would like to keep it, although I could see why you feel like taking down another target would be really good because you protect your Harrison Jones.
Yeah,
if you don't use
exactly.
Harrison, if you don't use the Smite, you can easily trade for it.
Yeah, so he is going to do it. He wants to keep that alive. We'll see if that's actually going to pay off for him. You know, the hand is starting to look like it's running pretty dry here from Nicolas, though. I mean, he only has the one minion, and then it's just spells. And if he doesn't start to get some value from those spells, I think he's really going to start running out of steam. Because when you look at Kaor, like, you know, his hand is still pretty healthy.
Yeah, and he can go for a board clear here as well and set up whatever he wants in response to it.
What are the targets for Shadow Word Death for Nicolas? You want to hit
Sylvanas, I think, would be pretty good. In some cases, it just depends. You know, if for example, if he goes for a board clear here and the Sylvanas comes down with no minions out, you know, death on that is pretty good.
Sure, but he's got 2 Shadow Word Deaths. What is
Yeah.
the other hit? Nothing. Is
So
that just a
one
dead
can
card?
be on your opponent's Sylvanas, one can be on your
Oh,
own
there you go.
Sylvanas. Yeah.
But is there any other target in the whole deck?
In the priest deck, I'm not sure what else he has, but probably not. I mean,
wow.
there was the Harrison, right? But I don't know if his opponent is going to have a Harrison or anything like that in the deck. But mostly priests don't really have a lot of those 5+ attack cards. It's just, you know, not built specifically to fight another priest deck.
Right.
Ooh, is Kaor gonna? Is he tempted to draw a lot of cards here?
He could, but at the same time, how many cards deep are we? You know, we're already about at least halfway through the decks, I would think. He's definitely going to go for it now, though, so he is going to be able to drop. There's the Ysera, but this does set up for the mind control. We talked about that earlier, the value from that mind control, and I mean, if he does drop the Ysera next turn, the mind control could be completely game changing.
I think that absolutely will be the case.
Obey.
Yeah, very likely. Does have the Soul Priest available here now as well, if he wants to try to go for some shenanigans.
Yeah. And to answer your question earlier about fatigue as well, I don't think you're really concerned about it until you're about 5 or 6 cards remaining.
Okay.
Until then, if you still draw the next 8 cards of your deck
Yeah.
aggressively, you're still at a big advantage.
Although, when you get to that point, when you have 5 or 6 cards remaining, you regret all of your decisions from
Yes.
the entire game.
Yes. Have to reevaluate your entire life.
Now, I mean, do you think you even drop the... Oh, God. Oh, no. He's going to have so much regret.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
He wants it. I mean, he's saying that I'm going to seize
Oh.
tempo right back.
Wow. And he's got his own mind control now, too.
Yes. I mean, this is the
Kaor is just in such an insane advantage now.
I'm going to go to bat here for Nicolas really quick here because I know a lot of people are going to look at that play and say that was obviously not the best play to do because now that Ysera is here, it's going to be really strong. But if his opponent didn't have anything to do and it was stuck in a scenario where he was just playing like really weak turns and passing, he would have had an opportunity with this Alkanized Soul Priest in hand to push for maybe 2 or 3 turns to kill.
Yeah.
So I think that was what he was going for.
Well,
But of course we know that he's in trouble.
He doesn't have a lot of other things he can do. He just has 2 Shadow Word Deaths in his hand. It's not. He has to do something.
The death will come in handy now because the Drake was drawn. So the Emerald Drake
that's true.
very likely going to be played.
How funny.
And so
The one dream card he did not want to draw against that hand.
Yeah, in this case, yep. And normally that you're very happy to see the Emerald Drake come down. I mean, it's such a cheap minion for that high of an attack. But yeah, I mean, I definitely understand why Nicolas did want to go for that, especially because his hand was very weak, and he's sitting there thinking, okay, I need to get something done here. I need to make some use out of these spells that I have because that's all that's showing in his hand. But I mean, now with the mind control spent, the Ysera on the board for his opponent, and his opponent does have a mind control ready for if Nicolas actually does draw his own Ysera, I feel like the game is heavily in the favor of Kaor. Oh, but he's actually using his own mind control.
Doing the same thing.
Well, because the question becomes, how do you deal with this 4-7?
Yeah, that's true.
Kaor is thinking, how do I lose this game? And the answer is, these guys on the board kill me.
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right, Thought Steal. What can it take? It can't take Sylvanas or Mind Control. It can take another Thought Steal. All right, let's try it again.
Yeah, round 2.
Yeah, there is a question to be begged if he should have been throwing Pyromancer down for some AoE, but I don't think it's there. All right, he's got Circle of Healing. Does that give him a clear of some kind?
I mean, not on the Ysera. There's nothing he can do to kill the Ysera. He can kill the Blade Master if he wants. but at the same time, then that makes it so it's pretty easy clear for his opponent.
If you're Nicolas, are you thinking, I got to go be aggressive now, or do I play defensively?
I feel like he's too high on HP to try to just go all in for a kill with this strong of a board from his opponent. I mean, he's sitting at 17 HP. You have 7 damage on the board, yeah, but there's still a Ysera. There's the ability to heal up. There's like a pretty tough board to deal with.
But now he makes it really easy for a sweep of some kind.
Yeah. I mean, 2 pyros in hand.
Yeah.
2 pyros and not many spells. Oh, man. I was going to say not many spells to combine it with, but
This is
he doesn't even need it now. He can just take out both with a Shadow Madness. My guess is he's just going to heal Shadow Madness and drop the Drake, which can be death, but still, it's still going to put him in a great spot. The turns are looking relatively weak from Nicolas.
Is there any merit to Shadow Madnessing your opponent's Akanai Soul Priest and then hero powering your opponent to do 2 more damage?
Well, he won't survive Shadow Madness because oh no, it's not a Pyromancer.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you take it and then hero power your opponent before you give it back,
Yeah.
do you think that's too aggressive versus just healing yourself?
I mean, I feel like if it was me, you have such heavy board control. Okay, so he's not going to do either of those things, but you have such heavy board control that I just don't feel like you need to be that aggressive,
Okay.
It's interesting that he isn't going to decide to go for the full clear, because he did have a very easy ability to do it with the Pyromancer or the Shadow Madness, or really a lot of different things. So
Saving resource. He's picking up free cards, essentially, without having to use cards. So that's also another aspect of control that Kaor's exercising, which is perfectly fine. It's not right or wrong. I think it's just based off preference and playstyle.
Yep. Well, the death is going to come into handy here.
Yeah, there's...
And that may actually prompt the Sylvanas to come down, which could end up, being something he could get a little bit of value with that second death.
Oh, okay. Now Shadow Madness gets really good value too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially when you see that come down, it's kind of like a little bit of a desperation play. He doesn't really have very strong cards. When he's just dropping the Pyro just for board control, so that's really gross when you do lose that.
Is it time to heal yourself, Civ Ysera?
Yeah, he's got 2 Holy Novas.
And I mean, just based off the play that your opponent just made, you know that he doesn't have a strong hand. Yeah, I mean,
he's one Shadow Word Death off from a palindrome.
That's awesome.
So for anybody who's OCD, I just ruined your day. I am very mean.
He chose not to play Sylvanas here. Is he? Yeah. Too worried about that second death?
It's gonna be a sniper Sylvanas. That's her. She is there as like a emergency measure against any card that's gonna surprise us.
He's got a Shadow Word Death.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He can target her immediately.
I mean, it's funny how powerful this Ysera has been. Even though it got silenced on the first turn, it ate a spell with the Emerald Drake that he got from it, and it's been on the board for how many turns now? Like 5, 6 turns? It's killing off
too long.
And there's no death in sight for that Ysera. I mean,
no, I mean that's the thing. It's just such an impossible card to deal with besides mind control.
Yeah.
And both players use their mind controls just on injured Blade Masters.
Man. Nicolas is in a terrible spot, but another Shadow Madness and Thought Steal might be able to change things.
Just has felt like Kaor has had this game in command the whole time.
Yeah.
Thought Steal might become an issue here because whatever he steals, it's helping him get a larger card advantage.
That's true.
And if he takes Holy Fire or some way to deal, like Holy Fire and then Shadow Madness. Oh, he doesn't have the mana to do that, but assuming he had this capability.
He's going to try and proc that Death Rattle on the Pyromancer.
Yes.
Get some value.
Yeah, and that will keep it alive, against the Ysera, at least for a turn, which is kind of nice.
But, yeah, that's pretty decent. Ysera is starting to get slightly weaker, but unfortunately, Kaor has ways to deal with that, too.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a lane. He has a lot of ways to deal with it, obviously.
All right.
You get him,
Ooh. And now that we're starting to get to the fatigue stages of the game as we enter Act 3, this is where it's really important to know what your opponent has also available to him. So he knows it's Akanai and Dark Cultist for me.
Those cards, you need a little bit of aggressive minions to finish the game. He's got Ysera, he's keeping it alive, but both players' hands, a lot of stuff that just kind of responds to what your opponent's doing.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
You got some stuff that doesn't have to do that. You can just play it and attack in.
yeah, I mean,
Oh.
wow.
Oh, baby, a double.
Let me change.
It's actually not bad. I mean, it's not going to get the most value here, but he needs minions. His entire hand was just spells.
By the way, if there was any question if Ysera was dying this game, we just got our answer.
Power chill. How many cards are left in the deck now?
Yeah, he doesn't have very many, so Power Word Shield.
Yeah, I think he's around 6 though, maybe 6 or 7.
But if if it comes down to that, that's a lot of damage. Each fatigue card deals, exponentially more.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And you don't want to fall behind in the fatigue battles.
And Nicolas, he still probably has the Ysera somewhere in that deck. I mean, I would imagine.
Well, we know that he has Auchenai, and he does have his own Dark Cultist.
Yeah.
I also think Nicolas also has his Northshire Clerics. Which is,
Does he?
I think he also still has his Northshire Clerics.
You would imagine he would have Ysera in the deck list, though,
Right.
no? And, he still hasn't drawn that, and that still could be, a potentially massive card if he could somehow, is there silence in hand? There's silence in hand. Never mind. So, I mean, it's not as big a deal.
He's drawing that card.
Yep, he's going to play this around Holy Fire. And then, Cabal Shadow Priest.
He's
All right.
keeping that Sarah alive. He's riding that dragon to victory.
Yeah.
I wonder if Cabal Shadow Priest actually needs to get played sooner rather than later, because if your opponent has a Northshire Cleric, you are obligated
Oh, yeah.
by the Innkeeper to steal it. And you don't want Northshire Cleric on your
It's a
side.
huge liability.
She is
especially
the
with
last
Pyromancer.
pick on the dodgeball team right now. Well, what can Nicolas do here to fight back? Because the problem is he's still been taking a lot of damage. Wow, such a defensive play. He's going to try to go for fatigue. That's the only way he
it's his
feels
only
like he
option.
can win.
Yeah, but without ever getting any minions down, you're never going to win on fatigue. Like, the 4 damage from Ysera every turn alone is going to be too much to deal with. Plus, we still see that he does have a number of minions left in his hand. I mean, he needs to get some semblance of board control to be able to ever hope to go for that play. It's just that his hand is
How? What?
thought steal. It's because he had thought
Yeah,
steal.
I know, but just I thought he's already used 2 Circle of Healings, but
Yeah,
he's also used his Auchenai Soul Priests, right?
yeah, he's just got nothing. I mean, it's such a terrible hand.
Let me change your mind.
Yeah.
I tell you, Priest versus Priest. Funny stuff happens.
It just seems like it all came down to the Ysera. It's just like,
Yep.
I mean, that was it.
Hey, there's another Shadow Word Death target.
Yeah,
That's
there
there
you
he is.
Yeah.
That death value is going to turn the game right around. What a huge draw.
Well, Quard does not have mind control, but he does have Sylvanas plus Shadow Word Pain if he can clear and take out the Sarah that we presume is in one of those last few
Right.
cards of.
He needs to
Nicolas'
save
deck.
that combo no matter what.
Well, he doesn't have a death. He just has a pain for Sylvanas, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. He needs that death combo with
He doesn't
Sylvanas.
have death, though.
He does.
He does.
Isn't that, oh, sorry. Is that not, I thought that was pain. My mistake.
He's
No worries.
There's your
Just the 3 mana cost usually is what you
Okay.
determine.
Yeah.
From the Shadow Word Death, I think it's important to not use it on your opponent, meaning you realize what it is.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Wow.
Ooh.
Double.
All right. Well, if there was a answer to whether or not Ysera would die the rest of this game, I think we just got it.
Yeah. That is a 8 damage board sweep. If he didn't even.
Oh, he's using it as a nuke. Like, this is like, okay, you're going to build up the board as much as you can.
Yeah.
All right.
He's hoping Quar overextends because it's basically the only way that he can get back in is to get a ton of value.
He is sitting very low, though. I mean, he's going to be,
Let me change
he's
your
going to be facing lethal.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can't
he's going to
really
use it
sit-
this turn
yeah.
for sure. Oh, and he even has a 3rd Circle of Healing with the Enchant
Blade
Blade
Master.
Master.
Wow. He's going to find a use for all of them.
Wow.
He doesn't even have to double Circle of Healing here.
Well, then he
Interesting.
doesn't really play a powerful Injured Blade Master.
Well, he can't do it yet because the Soul Priest is still alive, so he would kill his own Blade
Yeah,
Master if he did
exactly.
it.
So,
That wouldn't be the best play.
all right.
These decks are getting
Ooh.
low.
Nicolas may have
2
done
and
this a little
3
bit too
cards.
quickly.
Are the last 2 cards in? Is Nicolas playing Northshire Clerics?
Yes, he
So they're
has
both
to.
Northshire Cleric, the last 2 cards in his deck?
I don't know if he had one. I definitely know that he still has them in his deck.
Okay.
But he's got to have Ysera. He has
Right,
3
so-
cards left in his deck. He just moused over it. So 3 cards left. I think Ysera's still in
I
there.
have no time for games.
There's that Sylvanas,
Shame he doesn't have his sounds.
which is
Now,
I
mean,
he's got a Shadow Word Death for it, but then he loses one of his
yeah.
guys.
I mean, that's the problem. It's like you can't really afford to trade in your
Oh,
minions
there it
either.
is.
There's one of them.
You don't play this card.
Yeah.
The only way you can get away playing with this card is if if you know your opponent has 0 cards in hand and no minions on board.
Right.
So that way she can do damage.
Do you just go face with everything? With the hero power too? And deal 9 damage? And what do you think?
Also can go for a game-winning coin flip by letting Sylvanas steal your Northshire Cleric and healing.
Wow. Oh, I like it.
You like that one, man?
Oh, man. That's awesome. You play the...
He's going to trade in.
Give him the Cleric. Give him a Cleric.
I guess
Play
you
the
could
Cleric and
force
give it
give him
to
the
him.
Cleric.
Wait,
Yeah,
wouldn't you want
but-
at least hero power your opponent's face before you did that?
Perhaps. But
Unless you want to heal yourself.
Yep.
Or...
Give him the Cleric.
Is someone injured?
Oh, he's going to draw cards?
Oh, maybe once he gets Ysera.
Wow.
What's he going for? A Lothab.
There is no Ysera.
Why
Oh, his
why
own
do you trade-
Sylvanas.
Why do you trade that in then? Oh, okay. So that's what he's
Oh,
taking
he
the
did.
enemy Sylvanas.
But then his opponent still has Shadow
Yeah,
Word
his
Death.
death.
But
And he
Nicolas also hit Fatigue fast. Wait. Is there opportunities for Kaor to abuse this Northshire Cleric that's on his opponent's side?
Well,
This
he
has
could,
gotten really close.
Wow.
Oh, that 4/7 might be the way.
so these are the only cards that they have left. But I think that
This game got...
can you even afford to play
exciting.
this Soul Priest really?
Yeah, we know who's won this game. We just have to figure it out, right? Because all the options are on the table now.
Well, not necessarily. But I mean, there's still the Circle of Healing. So I mean, he can kill that. He can kill that with the Blade Master. He still has Lothab, you know, and the Lothab can't be it can be death. That's important to keep in mind. But that will be his whole
the
turn.
fatigue has begun.
Lothab is a big difference maker here.
But he has death in hand still.
yeah, but he restricts the rest of the mana,
Yeah,
so he can't
he
play a
does.
minion. Otherwise, he'd be able
Do
to
you just go all into the face here? Is that even an option?
I think that is your best option.
Yeah, because you're just going to be having to deal with death battles anyway. I feel like you should just attack the face.
Wait, no, because you're
I
taking
don't
2
know.
damage from fatigue
Oh,
next turn. So
yeah.
if you get rushed by these
6.
double 3s, that's 6. That's 8. Plus the Alkanite Hero Power, that's 10. Always going to be 1 damage off.
Yeah, I think you just go
Wow.
face though, because he won't win like that though. He will lose. He'll
If you
lose.
go face, then your
Knowing-
opponent will have
knowing
to
the
trade into
cards.
you.
Is it actually better to...
knowing the cards,
Oh,
he'll
he
lose
had
like
to
that.
get rid of
though.
that Northshire Cleric because he could have attacked into his opponent's
Yeah.
Northshire Cleric and then healed the enemy guy to draw
Yep,
him into
you're
the
right.
fatigue.
Nicolas lost though because it's the Lothab is gonna get pain. All he has is the injured
Circle-
Blade Master.
exactly.
And he can't actually win fast enough because there's Alkanai plus hero power. There's the Harrison. There's the death for the Lothab.
His
so-
his primary way is to attack face. Then you're right,
Yeah.
Azale, because
Yeah.
he needed to race him.
Yeah.
But he's gonna lose
Yeah,
the
he
race
lost. He
because
lost.
Nicolas is ahead in fatigue
Wow.
damage.
Core one.
Wow.
He's
what
gonna-
a game. I
he's
did
gonna
not
death
see
it.
this game getting this exciting at the end. It looked like Kaor had it the whole way.
Yep. He just has to. I think he
So
just-
then you heal yourself,
Yeah,
right?
you just heal yourself. You just heal yourself and you attack face, and then you can Akanai next turn, and probably finish because the fatigue plus Akanai plus cultist plus the hero power will kill him next turn.
Exactly.
So you just he won. So he doesn't know that he has the Akanai yet. So Nicolas is obviously going to stay in the game.
Oh,
but he has to
man.
realize at this point that it's very unlikely that he
What
has
an
anything going.
incredible battle.
Because all he can do now is attack face, and he knows that's really not going to win in the game. And you can see on his face right now. I mean, he's looking very disappointed. He's not going to leave the game because there's no point. But you
Right.
can see the kind of devastation there.
Just came down to a
after
couple
this long game.
cards.
Well, and also the fact that Nicolas had no Ysera in his whole deck list.
Yeah.
yeah, he played Lothab.
Lothab instead. But I mean, his
Yeah.
opponent had Lothab as well. So I'm not even sure what the actual exchange was. I think he had 2 Cabal
Harris-
Shadow Priests.
Yeah, but you can also get 2 Cabals in with Ysera. I mean,
Yeah.
it really comes
I don't
down to
even know what
preference.
he-
We have to look at the actual deck list, especially because Kaor has Harrison and Ysera in
Wait,
his deck.
did we miscount?
No, Nicholas will be taking 3 damage next turn, right? Yeah. So,
So
then
when
you
his turn
just
starts, he will die.
right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. So
Yeah,
you hero
it
power
was
the
right.
face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Kaor's just making extra strict calculations. You attack face, hero power him.
Yeah, because you
And
deal
then
5
he'll
damage,
die.
he has 3 HP, and
Yep.
then the 3 from fatigue. Yeah,
So he's
still
like
dies.
triple checking, like, all right, we're at 3 fatigue, right?
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
hero power him, and this should be it.
Yep.
He's
So
got
that is
it.
going to be that. Nicolas is
Wow.
going to lose game. Oh, that would have been.
Wow.
Oh my God, dude.
Quad
Yeah.
takes game 1.
Wow.
Epic game to start off the series, and Kaor is going to jump out to a very important lead.
It's insane how close that came when you think about the fact that Ysera literally sat on the board for at least like 10 turns.
Yes. Yeah.
Like literally 10
Yeah.
turns. I'm actually really surprised though they didn't have Ysera in his priest deck. That's like one of the only priest decks I've really seen without that like that kind of a
Yeah,
deck.
I
It
mean,
seems like it's so common. And
It's very common, but it's also optional.
Yeah.
You know, like people used to run Ragnaros for a long time, and
That's
people
true.
wouldn't run Ragnaros. Like, are you crazy? Like, how else are you, as a priest, supposed to deal with like big creatures?
yeah.
And the answer, I was really comfortable during that match, as you can tell. And the answer was that it's just basically based on how you choose to tail your late game. In fact, because he doesn't have Ysera, he has Holy Smite, and that
Yeah.
I think might be the direct replacement. It might sound silly,
Interesting.
but Holy Smite is because you're facing aggro, and Ysera is because you're facing control.
Interesting.
Yeah, but in this specific matchup, I actually think that when it was that close, I think Ysera probably would have won the game.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
The
you know,
priest
it's
mirror.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just crazy to me how close it was when his opponent Ysera literally did the most insane work the whole
Oh,
game,
yeah.
and he lived with what 6 HP at the end.
I mean, if you know for sure you're facing that
Right.
deck, you put in an extra mind
Well,
control.
he was on his last turn either
Yeah.
way, because he was
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
take 3 fatigue
Yeah,
damage.
of course, but yeah.
Yeah.
So. Wow. Well, what an exciting game to start off today. All the Chinese players in the background, of course, intently watching their friend and
Yeah.
local compete. And, of course, we do have the Westerners here cheering on Kaor. We're going to go into game number 2. Nicolas queuing up his rogue deck, which that can be a problematic class for the priest.
I just hope that he doesn't 3-0 with this rogue deck, because I want him to lose
You
at
want
least
the
one
Paladin.
game so he can bring that last deck in and we can see
Sure.
what he's been hiding this whole time.
I mean, the Paladin is also good against Priest and some of the classes that he brings, so maybe we can see that come to fruition. In the meantime, guys, let us know what you guys think about that match. That was crazy, wasn't it? Hashtag Road to BlizzCon on Twitter, on Facebook, even in Twitch. Just let your friends know that's going on. We're also streaming on YouTube, by the way, for people who want to be able to watch it on that with DVR functionality, so you get
Yeah,
to
it's pretty
watch
cool.
that play or hear our jokes 4 or 5 times in a row.
Or just listen to the laugh on repeat. You can just keep going back. You can just go to this moment, go 5 seconds before, hear it again.
All right, so going into game number 2, I believe Nicolas with Miracle Rogue is going to be really strong.
Yeah.
Do you remind me if Nicolas is playing a specific brand of Miracle? Was he playing the Violet Teacher?
we saw 4 different miracles.
Right.
I think this was maybe the Malagos one.
Oh, was it? Oh, I think you're right.
I think you are right.
The Malagos. There's Malagos, there's Violet Teacher, there's one with Teray, right? His specialized Miracle Rogue
Right.
with Alex Straza
It's got Leroy in it.
Leroy. And then we have the South Sea deckhand. Ha-ha!
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. The bans on both sides are wrong because it is a Paladin extra for Nicolas and it is the Hunter extra for his opponent. But like it is 2 control decks. So you're saying Paladin's pretty good against Priest. Paladin is very good against Control Warrior as well.
Yeah.
So I mean that's actually 2 decks. So if he could actually, if Nicolas can take down the Priest, if he could deal with the Hunter as well, I mean he's gonna have Paladin to deal with the Control Warrior. So it seems like the Paladin actually might come in very handy in this series. It's pretty good against at least 2 of the decks.
Hey, Paladin is great.
Yeah.
I know why Rini Hour banned it last time.
Yeah, there you go.
Greetings.
Paladin's more annoying than anything else here in the series if you're on the opposite side, because it's very hard to kill unless
Yeah.
you're playing a directly aggressive deck.
And
Sinister
full
Strike
spells.
does lean towards that Malagos confirmation, like you said. Oh,
Burning him
Kaor
with
messing up on
light.
turn 2, though. No emote.
Here we go.
Oh, man. It's a lot of draw and
Yeah.
damage in the Miracle Rogue's hand.
Get that auctioneer. Things could start happening.
It is. In the meantime, it's good that Kaor has some cards to play instead of passing for the next few turns.
All
Yeah,
right,
he
so
actually has a very good curve.
presumably there's Malagos. Presumably, Kaor knows that Nicolas is playing the Malagos version of this deck if he was watching the matches
Yes.
yesterday.
Yeah.
What does he do to play against it that's different?
I think you just have to keep in mind that you have to keep your life total pretty high because, like a taunt, for example, you can't just put it down taunt and be like, okay, I'm safe. It's charge minions, that kind of thing. You have to be conscious of the fact that Malagos and Sinister Strikes and Eviscerates, etc., these kind of spells could take you out even with a taunt down. So I think you definitely have to be aware going into the late game of keeping your life total pretty high.
And what is pretty high against this deck? I mean, presumably you expect Malagos, Sinister Strike for 8 damage, Prep, Eviscerate for 9 damage. What else? I mean, is this game going to end in 1 turn or?
Well, I mean, I think because it depends if he keeps his coin and stuff too, I guess, because that could help him with getting a little bit extra damage. And I mean, we've already seen one of this come down. We've seen, it depends how many spells are being used throughout the game. And also, it's not like Malagos can come down and then just, 10 mana gets spent at the same turn. So I think you do have a little bit of warning, but I definitely think just in general, you would want to keep your life total relatively high. Dan might know more about exactly how high it should be.
Well, the higher the better. Malagos is capable of pushing out 20 damage plus in 1 turn, especially if your opponent has Conceal and then keeps it for that turn. There's no way Vanus and Shadow Word Death to steal. There's no possible way to take to deal with that concealed Malagos.
He's got the mind control, so if he doesn't conceal, he just can mind control Malagos, and there goes a huge part of your win condition.
Yeah.
But is that too late by then? Are you on too low health, or does it even matter if you're mind controlling?
Mind control, and then you Holy Fire with Malagos the next turn. That would be sick.
Wow. It doesn't boost your heal though, right? So it's still it's 10 damage and you heal 5.
Yeah. Still not too bad.
15-point swing is pretty
not too shabby.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
So what is, I mean, it looks to me like the Rogue has got a lot of the pieces he would be looking for by trying to dig with an Auctioneer anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he doesn't even maybe need an Auctioneer in this game.
Yeah, that might be a very real possibility. The only thing about the Auctioneer is that not only is it drawing cards, but it's also a 4/4 body. So I like having minions to do damage, even aside from it. You might look at the gadget as an Auctioneer primarily for its draw, and you should. But don't forget that Priest has to deal with a 4-attack creature.
Yeah, exactly. And 4 is that key number, like we have said.
Ooh, Harrison Jones.
Yeah.
That's not a bad draw.
Not at all.
One of the few targets for Shadow Word Death there.
Yeah.
Yes.
But still, if he does, I don't know if he has deadly poisons and stuff in this deck or not.
Yeah, you
does he
probably have
Blade?
deadly poison. You might even have Assassin's Blade. You're correct.
Because if you can get an Assassin's Blade with Leroy, it's pretty much time to leave the game.
Assassin's Blade with... Gosh.
Sorry, Assassin's Blade with Harrison, rather. I mean.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Huh.
Because you do get so much card
Well,
from that.
now, this is interesting that he chose not to get rid of the Dark Cultist of some capacity, and instead put the damage right back. Because that leaves a lot of opportunities for your opponent to get value in multiple ways.
Yeah, especially, I mean, now he's going to get card draw.
Yep.
And then if
Shadow Man.
Yeah, exactly. Shadow Madness, etc. Plus, you have to deal with the Death Rattle. And
Yeah. So Nicolas may have rushed this turn. It might, and that's where something is really hard to spot. Like right off the bat, Sat might have been the better answer as he played his minions, but is it that obvious
Well,
to
it looks,
look at that?
I mean, look at the hand for the Miracle Rogue. He's got Malagos, he's got Prep Eviscerate, he's got Sinister Strike.
I feel like it's too slow, though. He's already at like half HP.
Right.
He doesn't really have a lot to contest the board. I feel like he might actually have to just drop Black Knight here or something. I mean, he's got to do something. His HP is going down pretty fast, and if you spend too many of your spells just clearing minions, that's when this kind of deck starts to really fall apart. If you're having to blow the Abysses and stuff like that to clear out minions, it's like then you don't have the burst to actually finish your opponent. His opponent's sitting at 28 HP. He's at 17 with 4 damage on the board. And even when you're using your weapon to clear that out, you're going to be taking hits that way as well.
Yeah, unlike the haha version of this deck, that Eviscerate is a big part of your win condition. You can't rely on
precisely
20 damage coming in with charge.
Yeah, it wouldn't actually surprise me if he dropped Black Knight. I mean, I definitely know he's thinking about it. Yeah, I think it's the right choice. I feel like you have to get something down on the board.
But we know that he doesn't have any taunt minions in his opposing player's hand there, so it wasn't a huge opportunity cost loss.
Yeah, but still, going to be a pretty easy clear. I mean, he can Holy Fire it if he wants. He can do some shenanigans with the Arcanite Soul Priest, but he is going to go for that Holy Fire. Definitely makes a lot of sense.
That
now,
Rogue
might
is
even
getting
drop
low.
Pyromancer.
Yeah, I think dropping Pyromancer here is actually pretty decent when you're already threatening that much damage. I mean, that would be putting 7 damage down on the board with your opponent at 13 health.
Doesn't want to overextend, which is understandable. But his opponent did use both Fan of Knives, so AoE is pretty limited. There are usually 2 Blade Flurries in the Malagos version.
Yeah.
Because you have
here.
Actually, if you have 2 Blade Flurries, then that is the right play. So
Oh,
Quar's
wow.
making
He
sure
is
something.
thinking about
Yeah,
dropping Malagos with
problem
no
is
conceal
mind
support.
controls. Yeah, mind controls right there,
That
which would
be
the game.
the end of the game.
Yeah.
Mind control. Yeah.
If he drops it, that is the
Only
game.
only in Hearthstone.
I think. Yeah.
He avoids immediate doom. But what is he looking for here? I mean, is there a combination of cards he could draw?
Yeah, he needs to Gadget Sand Auctioneer.
Yeah, he needs
Or
Auctioneer to draw everything else.
So the sap finally comes out, but this has already done a lot of disruption to him. Like, it's gotten so much damage. He's wanting to save Eviscerate as long as he can.
He really wanted to be picking away at his opponent as opposed to kind of trying to stay alive this whole game. Because
Yeah,
then,
absolutely.
if he was about half health, he could blow him out with some Eviscerates and Sinister Strikes.
Yeah. You know, Rogue is really is important to kind of keep the tempo, because as soon as you are blowing all those spells just to remove, you lose your win condition. You know, it's like Miracle Rogue, you draw all your cards so fast, and you use them all to kind of kill your opponent. And it's like once you start, blowing through all your Abysses and blowing through all these spells that are meant to deal damage to your opponent's health total, especially against something like a priest that can just heal it back up, you really start to fall way behind. And I mean, it's like looking at Nicolas's hand. What does he drop here? I mean, what is his turn? It's the Malagos is probably going to come out soon out of desperation, and knowing that the mind control is there, I mean, he's praying probably for an Auctioneer. Now there,
Oh, there
so
it
now
is.
he can maybe start making some miracles happen. Has a double prep. He can start digging.
I wonder how much he wants to use his preparation. I'd use the coin before preparation here.
Yeah.
Because the preparation you can even save for Malagos to get major damage.
Is he thinking about Sinister Strike?
It's just calculating. I think that's the card he wants. Oh, he gets concealed.
Oh, that is big.
Wow.
There's usually...
There is the Assassin's Blade.
Assassin's Blade, but he's got
Oh,
Harrison
God.
Jones to
If
counter
If he equips that, I'm going to be so sad for him.
So many cards that if he plays, he just loses.
It's
Yeah.
tempting because, I mean, you have the mana to do it, and you have preparations. You want to save him from Malagos.
Oh, man.
He's got Deadly Poison. He wants to put that with Assassin's Blade. You know it.
Yeah, and I mean, that is the ultimate. That is... He's thinking about using the Sinister Strike, and I mean, do you agree with that? With the Malagos in hand, dropping your Sinister Strike? I mean,
I do.
How do you win this game?
Malagos is still a 4/12 creature.
He's got another Sinister Strike.
Like, there are a lot of damage spells in. I think you do kill off this Arcanine.
I think at this point, he's probably got to be relying on the Assassin's Blade to win
Blade
this
Flurry
game.
is so
Yeah,
nice.
I
That's
think-
a
I think
really
he-
good draw.
I think he definitely is, but we know that Harrison's there.
Right. Oh, man.
I feel like the Harrison is going to win the game.
He is just running out of win conditions.
Yeah.
And
And it's only 7 cards left in his deck.
Kaor has all of the answers to every win condition he's relying on.
Yeah,
Well-
mind Control plus Harrison. 1 Conceal has already been used, so the Malagos it won't be there for the Malagos. If he gets a 2nd Conceal, that would be something. He can just Mind Control it right away.
He's most likely will Harrison here, and he can
Think so?
avoid that. And if he Harrison's here, I think Nicolas is actually in a really good position to
Oh,
win.
yeah, because then the Assassin's Blade can stick.
Yeah.
That represents a lot of damage. 1 Deadly Poison on Assassin's Blade is 20 damage
Yeah.
over 4 turns.
Plus, I mean, we have Blade Flurry with the Malagos as
Right.
well.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff,
that
so
is a
that's like-
ton of
yeah.
damage.
Yeah,
That's 10
exactly.
damage from that Blade
Yeah,
Flurry.
Yeah.
I think Nicolas actually, if Kaor is tempted to, unless he gets
If he holds on, to the Harrison,
Lotheb,
then I think that's definitely true. But I think he's going to drop the Cabal. So yeah, so he's going to
Wow.
hold on to Harrison. I think he knows what's going on. And
Yeah.
having seen this deck,
He's got to
It's
know.
good star
There's
system.
only
Yeah.
a couple ways he loses this game.
exactly. And I mean, yeah, like having played against everyone has played against Miracle Rogue a trillion times. If you played on the ladder, this was a deck that was everywhere, and you always knew that if you got that Harrison on an Assassin's Blade, it's basically the game. And with Malagos coming down, you have to know the mind control is going to come out now, and I think Nicolas is going to be very sad.
And this is the turn where you would have loved to play 2 Sinister Strikes and Eviscerate. And
Yeah.
the next turn, Assassin's Blade with Blade Flurry.
Oh, backstab
wow,
is a nice draw
7
there.
mana
Holy-
backstab.
Wow.
Yeah, can take out the Cabal Shadow Priest at least. And
You should.
Yeah, he can take that out. He can take out the Pyro with his Auctioneer as well. Do you think there's any world in which he just goes face with Auctioneer?
Well, you need to kill your opponent soon.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, so he's gonna Blade Flurry here.
Okay.
That's a lot
6
of damage.
all across.
Wipes the board.
So he does have
Yeah.
very low.
Man.
And I don't think there's a way that he can deal with this.
Actually, that is if
Oh
he
my
mind
God.
controls, he
You're
loses.
Right. You're right. Wow.
And that's game. That's game over.
Wow.
Nicolas wins after all.
Oh
wow.
my God. I did not see that coming at all.
That
was
Blade
so
Flurry
much
draw
worse. The
was
Blade
Guys,
Flurry,
incredible.
underestimate the Malagos.
Yeah, you're right.
You're gonna
Crap Blade
pay.
Flurry,
Well
dude.
played.
Wow. I completely
Malagos
underestimated
Rogue.
it.
He got a miracle. That is why this deck is called that.
Nicolas does have lethal in many ways.
Yep.
But he's just going to do it in a safe manner. Also, he's not going to show Assassin's Blade.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. He's trying to conceal that information. Well played.
Incredible
well played.
game.
Yeah.
Wow.
He just looked so screwed the whole way through.
Yeah, he
That's how
did.
Miracle always is.
Yeah.
But what's really difficult about Priest against
Wow.
Miracle is that Priest can't push that extra
Damage.
few yards to the goal line.
Right.
They have a really difficult time getting the burst in.
There's a BM meter on the screen.
Oh, I like it. And I completely agree with the
Wow.
judge's ruling. We're not inviting Nicolas to the BM Olympics. But you know what? We might invite him back for BlizzCon if he keeps winning like this. So.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, he does tie it up. It'll be interesting to see, what's going to come out now. I mean, do you think that we're just going to see the Warrior come out?
Well, he doesn't have Hunter, right?
He does have Hunter, I think.
Druid was
I
banned.
think Drew was banned and he has Hunter. So he has Hunter or he has the Warrior.
I-
Warrior seems like the better matchup, but knowing that your opponent has Paladin, do you want to play that into it?
Well, it can go either way. The Warrior against Malagos can gain enough life where his spells don't do
Don't
damage.
matter, yeah.
But like I said, there's like 50, 60 damage in this deck.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I'm completely underestimating it. It's not something I've...
You have to gain a lot of life to put yourself out of range. More importantly, the Warrior can get enough time to perhaps counter pressure and maybe even threaten to kill Malagos because they're so spell heavy, they're less creature heavy. So you can use like a lot of your creatures to pressure really early on and kill Rogue before they do it.
Well, Nicolas, if he does win the rest of his games with this Rogue deck,
It's a very real possibility.
we're not going to see this Paladin deck again.
Yeah.
Well, it is the
That'd be
Warrior
a
coming
shame.
out. And who knows, man? I'm sure. I mean, the thing is, if he keeps winning, we're eventually going to see it. I doubt
true.
that he's going to win BlizzCon without
Wow.
having to, get pushed to it.
That is some golden legendaries.
Wow. Holds on to the Harrison.
Yeah, I think Harrison's a really valuable keep against any weapon class.
Yeah.
Although it didn't do anything that last game.
Nope.
Well, because he refused to play it. So if he
So,
if he
looking
played
back, do you
Harrison,
think that was a mistake?
it could be. It could be the greedy play if you know your opponent has Assassin's Blade. It's really hard to say for sure. But one thing is for a fact is if he played Harrison, he would have drawn 2 cards. He might have been able to pick up Lotheb and shut down an ability to use that gadget skill.
Oh,
That's
wow.
true.
Well, he's got Lotheb this game, and that is quite good against the deck that has a lot of spells.
He needed that last game as well.
Looking back to last game, what do you think that if there was anything, what do you think that Kaor did wrong against that? Because it did look like he was in such a good position the whole time, and then do you think there was anything he could have done better to kind of prevent what Nicolas was able to accomplish?
The only thing is just being less greedy, I suppose.
Yeah.
Which it's not necessarily a wrong thing. It's only better because he lost the game. If he won the game playing greedy, then would have been fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This is also an interesting thing. It's like, what do you spend this turn? Like, cause you want to armor up as much as possible, but then his armor's been too vulnerable just putting out here. I think playing it on the field as fast as you can is usually okay. Especially if you have Senjin coming out.
Yeah.
2 Gadget Sands and a Conceal.
He does also have the ability to coin Harrison, next turn if he wants to.
Yeah,
You
the
were
coin.
talking about being too greedy. Do you think that he will feel like he should just get it out earlier, get the card draw and stuff? Or do
Coin
you
might
think
be valuable. There are scenarios where like you just need to gain as much life as possible, so
Sure.
like you Alex Straza back up and Coin armor up. But for the most part, Coin is usually more expendable compared to like Miracle Rogue, which usually wants to keep the coin as much
Yeah.
as they can.
So you mentioned he could coin Harrison Jones. He could
get the 2 card draw? He has a
Good
lot of cards
Senjin.
already in hand though.
coin Pain armor up.
I mean, it seems like probably just gonna drop Senjin. I'm guessing.
I think Senjin is
It's just
really
a good play,
nice.
so there's not really any big need to drop the coin.
Right, and it's decent pressure on the board. Not to mention it's a lot of health, so your opponent can't remove it easily, and if they do, you're gaining armor.
Yeah.
So right now, the big target on the back is not the Senjin if it gets played. It's actually the Armor Smith. If there's anything that's going to get eviscerated, it's most likely going to be
Oh, he does.
There
go
it
on
is. Let's go
Harrison
for the coin.
Jones.
Yep.
To the museum.
That does
So
open
he's not
up
playing
for the
greedy.
Assassin's Blade. You know, he does know that he's not doesn't have to be so worried about that now. And I think it's totally a fine play to make.
It is, but at the same time, Assassin's Blade is one of the primary ways for
Yep.
Miracle Rogue to win against Warrior.
Yeah,
you
I-
need that extra damage.
I think it definitely could just be that kind of flashback to last game, though. You know, like where he's
Right.
thinking,
Not
you
be so greedy.
yeah, I didn't get to play it last game. Do I really want to hold on to it, wait for the ideal circumstance? And you know, it may come back to bite him this game, but it's easy to say, like, you know, because we can see all the cards. But looking back at last game, you know, never getting to play that valuable card that sat in your hand for so long, it's definitely understandable why you would want to.
Do you think this is the result of him hiding that Assassin's Blade from last game? Was able to get the Harrison Jones to come out early?
It's possible, but I'm guessing that Kaor watched the VODs, and Nicolas did play this deck, so the Assassin's Blade he probably would have seen from the VODs. If he was really like diligent about it,
Sure.
Which I mean, I would assume you would be for a tournament of this caliber. You
Right.
probably should be making notes on every card in their deck. And are the players allowed to have like a notebook with them? Are they allowed to like? Because
I don't know.
Some tournaments they do, but I believe in this event we don't say you're allowed to take notes.
okay,
But for the most part, it's just the same thing as you can do with pen and paper for anything.
yeah,
So
yeah, of course.
The Black Knight.
that's pretty important, in fact.
Yeah, huge
Shutting
value.
that down and getting this this guy out there to do some damage is really important. It might prompt a cool Taskmaster turn with a weapon to kill off. There's no easy way to remove it with Shield Slam yet, or Execute.
You could shield block into a shield slam.
You could, and if you're
That's
willing,
risky.
if you're willing to
Are you
gamble
feeling
a
lucky,
little bit.
Ben?
I'm always feeling lucky.
Yeah.
I have no time for games.
All right, that's an interesting play. Sylvanas directly on the board. I guess it's because he wants to just
threat,
challenge and start
yeah.
pressuring. Yeah, his hand feels pretty clunky.
Is that a good sap target, that Sylvanas there?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
It's one of the
Ooh,
best set
deadly.
targets.
Deadly Poison is really going to start that a lot of damage
yeah.
in here.
This is bad news for Kaor.
Uh-oh.
Really bad
That's a
news.
huge board and a huge weapon.
Yep.
And he has the conceal as well. He
man.
has, I mean, he has pretty much the ideal draws there now.
Yeah, but he's got low theb, so he can stabilize. But that's still damage that he's getting from minions,
Do you
not
think
spells.
he preps here too?
I generally like using preparation with Gadget Sand before the low theb, but in this deck, saving it for Malygos is also appropriate.
Yep.
Not a good draw, but I don't know what a good draw would look like at this point in the game. Brawl?
It's always a good draw, right, Ben?
Yeah, Brawl might actually be okay
Yeah.
as time goes on, but not at the moment. In fact, because he has two weapons, he can start burning his opponent just from whacking the face.
But still, I mean, that's 13 damage just sitting on the board right now.
Yep.
It's a lot. He can dig a little bit further as well with the Drake if he decides to.
Malygos. Malygos actually isn't Malygos in Azure Drake, or
They are both part of the Blue Dragon fight.
okay. I was studying up on my lore, and I was reading something interesting about Azure Drakes and Malygos, but I can't recall it. right now.
Malygos is the aspect of magic. He's
Right.
the leader of the Blue Dragon fight.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Of course, he went totally crazy. Had to be put
Yeah,
down.
because he was power hungry or something, right? He like betrayed his aspect.
He wasn't power hungry. He was just disappointed with the way magic was being used. Sorry, I'm
Was he
nerding
now?
out.
That's right.
You just tapped into my special
sorry.
place.
Don't apologize.
Nims told
Keep
me to
going.
ask
We're
you some
listening.
questions. I was trying to, do him proud. This is really tough. He only has one execute at the moment, and he
Yeah.
needs more ways to kill off these minions.
I mean, do you feel like you can really leave the auctioneer up at this point? Like, this is pretty rough.
This does not look good for Kaor here.
No, not at all. It's looking really bad.
Oh man.
That shield block buys him a little more time.
Yeah, and
Maybe a shield slam.
Yeah, I mean, he could shield block armor up if he wants to.
He's just getting low, and there's a lot of eviscerate. He's got some spell power.
I feel like this play.
He's probably just gonna go auctioneer and keep.
Yeah,
digging.
this play leaves up too many threats. He's got 9
Wow,
damage
that's
right there.
a lot of damage. That's 9.
I think that's game.
Is it?
Wait, 9 of this.
He's got some spell power in his hand. He's got Blood Maid's Thalnos.
Yeah, I think that is game with the Sinister
Wow.
Strike draw. Nicolas gonna take another one. Oh, he even has the second spell power.
A little extra BM there.
GG.
All right, 5 out of 10. I'll give him a little bit of proof there. Still has plenty of room.
Looking calm, cool, and collected too.
Guys, we may not see this Paladin deck.
I know. I mean, this is pretty scary for Kaor now.
Yeah.
He started out so commanding.
Yeah.
Well-
Malygos Miracle.
Hunter
doing some work.
still, I feel like, is pretty good against this Miracle Rogue deck because...
How does Hunter go against Paladin if it gets to that point?
Oh, I think Hunter's great against Paladin. That's just me. Some people might disagree. But I just generally like the speed of how Hunter can operate against the Paladin. And then, even though Paladin has heals and they do have taunts, like
Yeah.
Hunter's just too fast.
Yeah.
But more importantly, before we even get to that point, Hunter versus the Rogue. Usually what happens is that there's a point where Miracle Rogue can draw a lot of cards and race Hunter, but that was with Leroy. I haven't actually seen too many Hunter versus Malygos Rogues. Were you guys highly amused?
What's going on?
Yeah,
We were like looking over there, like, you guys.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. It should be pretty interesting. I mean, I think a lot of it just comes down to, as always it does with rogues, it comes down to card draw.
I think because Malygos is a little bit slower to set up,
Do you think that would be a worse version
I
against Hunter
feel
then?
like it's worse against more aggressive decks.
Okay.
Malygos against like taunt heavy, control heavy decks feels like it's better, especially against like priests or
Warrior.
or you know, even shamans to a certain extent. If shamans can't be that aggressive, they get a slow start, you can be really good. But if you're playing aggressive burst shaman, probably not the case.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're a faster deck, you might be stronger against Malygos. But at the same time, because of that, Malygos is so spell heavy, you often have a lot of AoE, like the Fan of Knives,
Yeah,
the
well, the
Blade
Blade
Flurries.
Flurries are insane.
You usually run 2 of them sometimes, and that gets you really good against those cards. So
Yeah.
it's give or take. I think you're right in the sense it comes down to the draws, but I would give the edge to the Hunter slightly.
Oh, I hope the Hunter takes it. I can't wait to see this match go down to that would be the 5th game, right? If the
It
Hunter,
would be.
if the
It
Hunter
would
wins.
be,
Oh,
Absolutely. And I don't know if we've seen
Would it be
Kaor's
worth it
Hunter
even
yet.
if the Paladin loses?
oh man, I will be so sad if I don't get to see this Paladin deck.
Yeah.
If he takes all of BlizzCon without ever having to show us his Paladin deck, I will be.
That'd be a travesty.
Maybe we can get him to show it to you after that.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Take a sneak peek.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be the only one with it on the ladder.
War needs to win this game, or else he's going to be down into the lower bracket for another chance. I mean, it's just so much better when you don't have to worry about getting to the top 8 versus
Yeah.
watching your opponent be able to advance over you.
Also, the confidence that comes with going 2-0 in this group stage,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
got to help a lot.
Absolutely.
definitely does.
So here we go into game number 4. Can Kaor turn it around?
Have we seen Kaor's Hunter deck yet?
Yeah, I was asking that
Yeah.
a little bit earlier. I'm not sure. Not sure.
Yeah. Be interesting to see what kind of a deck he is running.
Okay.
Auctioneer.
Getsand and Farseer is pretty important cards against Hunter because they're trying to race you. Wow, he's got Explosive Trap.
Interesting.
Wow, yeah.
So that tells me he's not running Knife Juggler type of combinations because he's placing Explosive Trap instead of Snake Trap. Although he could have both,
How important? Oh, interesting.
Wow. Oh.
which means
Alright,
he might be just
Strong.
going.
Yeah, I was-
How important is Earthring Farce here in this opening hand for the Rogue?
Oh yeah,
I
super
think it's
important.
very big.
super
It's a
important.
strong early
'cause the
minion,
way you
plus
lose
you're
this
gonna be
game is
taking
just-
constant damage.
She's just getting blown out, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's so important this backstab came into hand because he can deal with the Leopard Gnome without taking extra damage. That way he doesn't
Yeah.
have to coin hero power.
Yeah, like you said, holding onto the coin is so important,
man.
especially for a rogue. You know, using in conjunction with the auctioneer.
Absolutely.
Presumably, Kaor's deck is pretty aggressive running this Leopard Gnome. He does not have a good turn 2 play to follow this up with.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just gonna be hero power depending on his draw.
Yeah.
Start pumping in the damage.
Oh, he's going to hero power. Okay, okay.
Wow. What's the reason for that?
He wants to kill off Undertaker as fast as he can.
Oh, that makes sense. It also works well, I guess, against I can't even think what they're called, mad scientists or whatever, the secret.
Sure.
Secret death
Mad Scientist also possibility, and that's an important draw for War.
Great draw.
Yeah, very nice. Because
Exactly what he needed.
even if you do backstab that, then you still have to deal with the two
Right.
spiders that are going to spawn from the death rattle.
Well, you got one dagger charge to clean up one of the spiders.
Yep.
Or you could blade flurry him.
Yeah. You could do that. Yeah.
That's a thing you could do.
It is a thing you could do. It's also a vis one if you.
That's
start-
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it might not be optimal, but you do have to backstab this.
Yeah, I feel like you do.
Because
But-
if you go for, because you also can think about the alternative plays. What if you attack and then weapon up,
Okay.
and you? But the thing is, you're playing Farce here next turn.
Yeah. Killing a spectral spider always feels bad. You're like,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm just making your board a little better.
That's another good draw. here.
Animal Companion. I think he's just gonna drop that right away, hoping for the Huffer. Let's see what he gets. It is gonna be Huffer, and that is actually really big. Gonna really start ramping up the damage. I mean, he does have the backstab for the answer, which is really nice. So
Yeah.
he's gonna be glad that he saved the backstab now, because that is perfect answer to Huffer. But still, you do get that damage in, and I mean, he's already 9 HP down, and we do see that there's. He could actually Houndmaster the Spectral right here to deal with this Farce here, which is a very big deal as well. And so, even though the backstab was great on the Huffer, ignoring the Haunted Creeper earlier is going to be able to give him this really nice trade because he trades it in. He still has a Death Rattle. He's going to have the 4/3 and the 2/1/1s against an empty board with a next turn follow-up of Weapon Up and Hero Power. So you're starting to look at a lot of damage being developed on the board.
Mari's just had some incredible draws the last
Do
couple
you think
turns
he
here.
goes face at all?
I
I think that's too greedy, right?
Well, what are you worried
I
about?
think that you don't. Well, you're
Well,
just
if you
worried
get a
that
miss or something
he
like
ki-
that, right? I
well,
don't know.
if he kills off the Haunted Creeper and he trades it to Houndmaster.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of cases, Huffer is one of the worst cards you can get against Miracle Rogue.
against backstab.
There's just a lot
That's
of
fair.
ways for them to deal damage to kill it. Misha and Leok are
I mean, Misha's
actually
nice.
much better.
It does draw an abyss or something,
Yeah,
I guess.
so-
Same with Leok, but still, you don't think it's worth it even for the more damage?
So
to
it's
get in? No?
tempting to think like, oh, he's rushing him down. The only scenario would be good is if it's late game, trying to kill Commander for the win.
Okay, fair enough.
But generally speaking, I think War was not happy to see Leok.
Okay.
Or sorry, to see Huffer, not like Leok or Misha. Well, now Nicolas has the opportunity to go for nice play with Deadly Poison and SI7 Agent, but he's hovering over as if he wants to attack first.
There's a world in which he just procs the Death Rattle and then Deadly Poison,
Is he gonna weapon up when he already
Yeah.
has a full weapon?
I mean, but
No,
we
he's
think
just
about Deadly
thinking, he's just
Poison,
thinking,
perhaps.
Okay. It's like you already have a 1/2 weapon. There's no need. I'm really surprised by this play that he didn't just Deadly Poison SI7
Yeah, I
Agent
thought he was going to Deadly Poison.
because he already took damage too.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
gonna
Blade
Blade
Flurry,
Flurry.
yeah.
I think that's the only way you
Really
can follow this up.
Wanted to wipe that board away.
I
I mean, if you're the Miracle Rogue, you got to be thinking, I just got to stop
Yeah, well,
myself from dying, right?
Kaor just keeps drawing the right cards every single turn. So,
This time he did get Leok.
all right, that's slightly better than Huffer.
I feel like
but
Leok is
marginally.
really, you think, yeah, I mean, it seems a lot
Like-
worse than Misha at least, but
Oh,
we
yeah.
can still deal with it.
Well, like Huffer doesn't get sniped by SI7. He has to use Eviscerate, which
Yeah.
is the same effect as Misha anyway.
Yeah,
So
true, for sure.
Leok was marginally better than Huffer.
Who's got the advantage right now? It feels like it's the Rogue.
In this situation, though, I mean, the Huffer would have gotten more done. I mean, he would have at least gotten the face damage, and they still would have drawn out the same spells.
He could have been
Or at
killed
least, I mean, he would have had
by
to use,
the SI7 agent, though, with the combo attack.
Yeah.
yeah, but
that's-
he would have had to use like Sinister Strike or something to proc that, right?
Well, you could
Or
use
Shiv.
Shiv.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
he could
Shiv to
Shiv
draw
and
a card.
SI7. Yeah.
But it's an interesting thought. Like, do you want to be pushing damage? Rogue's already at 16.
Because I mean, he's getting quite low. I mean,
Yeah.
you bit 12 if
It's
it
true.
were.
That's
I mean,
right.
it doesn't really matter because it's not like you get to choose what you get. But
Ooh,
but
I
still.
like it. Kaor, he's just trying to get inside of his mind, Nicholas's
Wow.
mind a little bit.
Hey, lights
But
out.
I don't
It
think
is
that's
a
going to
freezing
phase
trap, right?
Nicholas. It is a freezing trap.
Okay.
But Nicholas doesn't know that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Man, Nicholas.
I mean, if he draws a beast next turn with kill command plus weapon and hero power.
Oh,
he has so
wow.
much damage.
What if that was sniped? That would have been so good.
Yeah.
That was being played once upon a time.
Yeah. Conceal. Pretty nice.
That's a perfect draw.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Holding on to the attack also is good because you don't want to give more damage for the hunter right now.
Yeah, but there's web spinner activate the kill command. Do you think you just go face here with kill command? Drop the web spinner,
This
kill
early?
command? I don't know.
The thing is, it's not about necessarily about being early, but how do you? Well, I guess you do feel like you're going to get a beast no matter what. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you don't have a beast in hand, and you're starting to get to that point.
right. Yeah, you don't want to be stuck on a kill command with no
Right.
beast.
I mean, we'll get the beast draw unless this gets silenced or something
Every
like that for
damage
the web
is
spinner.
important.
True.
So he
But
will
if
get
he-
a beast from the web spinner, but it could be a high cost card.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I feel like, you know.
Hopefully it is.
it's-
Hopefully it's
Yeah.
Mr. Crush himself.
Yeah, well,
That's true.
I mean, it could help you out, but at the same time, I don't think it's bad. Yeah, I think
Oh,
I
he
think he
just
may
blew
kill
his
command.
last
We'll see.
charge on his weapon there.
Is he going to kill command? I don't know.
It might be. You also might not have the mana to necessarily use another
he's gonna
card.
do
it.
So 6 HP. So he is very low, and I mean, it puts him in a world where he's already used one of his heals. He's already used one of
Yeah.
his. So he may have an ability to heal for 3 more, but it's like, you know, he is
Oh.
at maximum. Even if he clears
draw.
this.
That's a great draw. You know,
Yeah.
Kaor also played around the ooze. He knows Nicolas has ooze in his miracle deck, right?
Oh.
So he used his weapon immediately rather than be greedy.
Shit, that's
That was
nice.
also really heavy.
Let's see what beast he gets. This
Yeah,
could
this is
actually be
really
huge.
important.
He gets Tundra
Oh, it's a
Rhino.
charge minion.
It's a charge minion, yeah. So I mean, that is going to put him at 2 HP, even
Well,
with just
and
a hero
if he
power
draws
plus that.
another beast that
Yeah.
has 4 attack, that is
Yeah, exactly.
that is.
Or even 2. He only needs 2 more damage.
You're right.
with the
Any
hero power.
beast that
But-
has 2 attack.
Well,
It
or
would be the
Houndmaster?
mana. He would
Kaor
he would
needs to
only-
win
yeah.
next turn.
Yeah.
He's in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting right down to the wire. It's really going to come down to the draw. I mean, if he draws his other kill command, he's going to have 8 mana. That would be the kill.
Oh, you're right. Kill command is
Wow.
Kill command would
But
be lethal.
lethal. I think that's it. There's nothing else that's lethal.
Weapon would be... No, it wouldn't. It would be 1 damage short.
Oh.
Yeah, it has to be kill command, I guess.
It's kill command lethal for Kaor, and he's been living off the top of his deck. He's about to send his monthly rental check.
What about... Do you think he has Unleash?
Oh.
Or anything
We haven't
like that?
seen
Unleash
it.
is a possibility
Yeah.
as well.
Unleash would also be lethal.
Not anymore, right?
No, because
No,
he sent
not
it back.
anymore.
Also, I think he can't unleash Tundra Rhino and Hero Power.
Yeah, no, you can't. You could just do the 2. That's not going to do
That's
it.
actually a terrible
Is
draw.
that game over for Kaor?
Yeah, I think so
it
because
looks so.
Deadly Poison Assassin's Blade plus 7 damage on board. That is game. I do believe.
Well,
I mean, he can reduce.
he's got the freezing trap.
so that
now.
reduces 3, but still, so it's gonna be 4. Plus he has 6, I guess, from that. And can he
Nope.
SI as well?
Nope,
No.
it's too much mana.
Wow. Does that mean that Kaor's got it next turn? Unless it
Oh.
depends on the
Well,
draw here.
Yeah,
Depends on the
the
draw,
draws
yeah.
actually could be, and he has too many minions.
Yeah. So I mean, well,
Well-
does he? Wait, does he Zertrick to
Well,
get
first
draw?
he sees
Yeah, I mean,
that
he's
this
gonna
is
see this.
freezing trap.
Oh, he's
So,
he's
I think
very
you're-
disappointed.
you
That was
might-
not what he wanted to see.
I think your best bet is to Assassin's Blade and Deadly Poison. This is your only chance to win.
Yeah.
You have 2 mana to draw damage, and you have 1 draw to make it.
Yeah.
How many cards remain in his deck? He still has
But he's got to know.
Eviscerates.
He's got to think that his opponent has 1 extra. He's gonna
Oh,
draw 1 extra.
10
damage, so,
cards.
Yeah.
He's got Eviscerate. You've got.
Oh,
Oh, but you've also got
wow.
preparations.
Yeah.
I think there's like a 30% chance for Nicolas to still win this game, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
If he just goes, but he has to go for this. There's
Yeah,
no
you
other
have to go
alternative.
for it. I mean, it's like I said, you have to expect Kaor to have
Yeah,
1 extra damage in his hand. You know, you can't
Well,
just.
He could
Yeah.
hero power
I mean,
to have more mana left over after the.
oh,
Deadly
you're
Poison.
right. But then
Yeah.
he's a little bit damage short too. You're
Oh,
right.
he's
I
got
think
it.
that might be the case. He's gonna go for the
Oh, he's
Azure Drake,
drawing
and
a
that's
card.
not the right play. But Malygos is not it.
Oh,
Kaor's gonna
Wow.
even up the series.
Wow, what a close series.
we could get prep
Incredible.
here. I don't know if that does anything.
No, nothing to use it with, right?
Prep into Eviscerate would have been 1 damage off
Incredible
lethal.
Yeah.
game, and that card from
2 damage. rather.
Web Spinner is gonna clinch
The
it.
Tundra Rhino.
Play the Web Spinner too.
Play the web spinner.
Oh.
0 out of 10.
No, you play the Web Spinner and charge it. No! No! You charge the Web Spinner and see what you would have gotten. No!
He could have drawn
Wow.
King Crush.
What a match.
Oh.
That was exciting.
Yeah,
He could have gotten Captain's Parrot
It's true.
off of that Web Spinner, still played it, and charged in for the win.
BM level 2 out of 10 would not be
Oh,
again.
man.
That would have
Son,
been
I
amazing.
am disappointed.
Oh, you guys, we're going to game
Paladin.
5.
Paladin, Ben.
Oh, this is it. This is the
Yeah.
moment I have been waiting for.
You were born for this, Ben.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about this Paladin
No,
deck.
0.
Oh.
This could be Mukla, Divine Favor, Avenge. It could
Dude.
be anything.
Yep.
You gotta go. You gotta go with the Hogger sort of justice.
Yes.
That's
That was
ultimate
so
Paladin
disappointing
deck.
end to the game. But you know what? The series is tied. We're going to Game 5. That's what really matters. But the Hearthstone fan in me wanted to see more of that action just for fun. Well, I guess with these guys, it's serious business for them, right?
of
They're like,
course.
okay, well, no messing
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
I don't want to.
They are playing for 100K.
Quar's
I mean,
a-
it's
Quar's a
maybe you
gentleman.
should take it a little bit serious.
He is a
right?
gentleman.
Yeah.
I told you he's a sweetie, so he doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Doesn't want the Captain Parrot PM.
It was going to happen. I
Oh
promise you.
man, what an exciting game!
Yeah,
Well, we're going down to
that
Game
was
5
so close.
with Paladin. Paladin can defeat the Hunter.
Yeah, I can.
It can, yeah. This
It's
guy
like
knows.
Paladin can do anything. Don't talk bad about it.
but it's hard.
Don't you
It's
dare.
hard. It's tricky.
Yeah.
It's tricky because the Paladin really needs a specific set of cards early on
Yeah.
to shut down what Hunter does. Hunter needs to start somewhat slow. Like maybe instead of a Undertaker, have like a Web Spinner. That's pretty slow. And then Paladin needs to have their early game cards like True Silver Champion to deny an Animal Companion, Consecration, or even a Pyromancer with a quality combination.
Yep.
If they can get to that point, and then Savannah Highmaid's not even that big of a threat. Just use Outdoor Peacekeeper. Maybe there's a chance there for Nicolas to win, but that's a lot of conditional statements.
Yeah.
There's a time where sometimes you just draw Tyrion, and then you're like, well, I can't actually do anything this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see what is in this new deck, and I'm really happy it went to Game 5. Definitely the best way to end this.
Generally speaking, too, there are a lot of life gain cards in this deck,
Sure.
too.
Guardian of Kings.
Holy Lights.
Holy Lights, yeah.
Even True Silver Champion can be very important against cards
Do you
like
think there would be a
Explosive
lay
Trap.
on hands in here as well?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Lay on Hands might be too slow for this
Yeah.
matchup.
Wow! I guess the nice thing is that he won't be drawing these immediately off the mulligan,
yeah.
but
So
that's
it's
not an
not as
opening
bad.
hand you want.
It's not as
It
bad
gives
as
us
it
a
might
little
seem.
peek, though, into what the kind of deck we're going to be seeing from Nicolas here.
Yes. Big fat creatures.
So not a crazy opening hand here for the Hunter yet. I mean, so that is something that does help Nicolas out a bit.
That's what we said last game, too, about what Kaor had before he drew.
Well, and I mean,
Wow!
Not
That's
what he wants
so
to see.
bad. And
Oh,
he's playing
man.
Alex
Oh,
Strauss.
and he draws
Oh,
the Karen
no.
now too. Oh god,
I
that's
mean,
gross.
I'm gonna go. I'm in love with this Paladin deck already, but it is not the draw that he
No.
wanted. Like Big Game Hunter hits no targets in this deck.
But you know what? It is a really slow start for the Hunter deck.
Yeah.
The nice thing about Paladin, you always have some board presence. Even with a hand that bad, you can hero power. You can trade with the Loot Hoarder.
Yep, it's very true.
Gosh.
I mean, I think he's just gonna drop big. Do you think there's? Yeah, I probably just. Drop
Oh,
Big Game Hunter.
man. Kaor is drawing so poorly, but
Wow, they both are.
I mean, I guess the only real target that you
Interesting.
have Big Game Hunter, it could be like a beast, a hound.
Do you think he
Oh,
is
he's
faking Snake Trap
exactly. That was a really good point that you brought up. But
here? Wow, he bought it.
He got it.
Incredible. Look
Oh,
at
he's
that smile.
smiling.
Yeah.
you got bluffed, bro.
Oh, man.
Wow.
That's actually a big deal.
Yes.
That is a huge deal.
He just like kills. Oh man, that is brutal.
I mean,
really
now this
regrets
Farseer
playing that.
dies.
Yeah.
It doesn't bully whatever comes
The
out.
Farseer dies, and instead of having 3-3 on the board versus nothing, he now his situations are
Right.
reversed. That just is so bad for Nicolas.
Huge misread on that secret.
another board draw.
Ragnaros. Oh!
I mean, the nice thing again is that he's not under a serious amount of pressure yet.
Yes.
But
Still, that is brutal.
If this game goes long, I mean, that Paladin has got some juice in his hand.
Yeah.
you play
Very slow
BGH here,
cards, though.
right?
Yeah, I think you have to.
Well, hero powering
not
just
gonna do
loses to the
anything for you.
2/2.
Yeah.
So, and there's no target you want to hit with the Big Game Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the one thing is if you play Big Game Hunter, then you can Houndmaster up Savannah High Mains and things like that and not worry about it. So there are
Sure.
like some buffed up ways. But yeah, I don't think you can hold on to it. There's just no play. Wow, he's going for it. Okay.
Man, that is greedy.
Yeah, it's really greedy, especially in a matchup like this when your late game is so strong. You just need to stay alive. I just feel like, what's the point in that?
I'm inclined to agree.
Well, he doesn't have a turn 5 play either. I mean, he's had almost no plays this game as the Paladin so far.
Well, he may now just have to use Manipulator on
Okay.
the Misha. What do you think about that?
Oh, he's got
Oh,
low
there's
threat.
a turn 5.
Low
Okay,
threat
yeah.
is
Yeah, yeah.
slightly better.
It's definitely better than that. Nelly drew that, yeah.
But, oh, man. what's nice is that there's a lot of alternatives he can do to this. He doesn't have to.
Why do you think he ran
get
into
any spells.
the 4-3?
I can't see any reason.
Presumably, he thought the 2-2 would run into the 1-1.
But why would that even matter?
Maybe he's playing around Unleash the Hounds.
Perhaps.
But then he played Lotheb, so
yeah,
next
he's
turn.
Lotheb, so he
It's
wouldn't
true.
even be able to do it. So that actually doesn't make any sense to me.
He's concerned about something.
He is.
But what?
Maybe getting the
This is the right play. You want to get to the Savannah high main down as safely as possible. It might not look appetizing whatsoever because Hunter's Mark's supposed to cost 0, not 5 mana. But in terms of board momentum and tempo, that was a really powerful move.
True Silver
is that True
pretty
Silver.
nice.
This Paladin's getting into the later stage of the game.
Yeah.
Starting to have enough
Yeah.
mana to play some of these big minions.
Very true. Now, what do you think the answer to the high main is going to be? Do you think you just have to manipulator it, depending on if you, or do
Wait.
you actually equality it?
Kaor actually had Sludge Belcher. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Sludge
he
Belcher
does.
might have actually been a slightly better play.
There's that Savannah Highman. You could
All right, well,
quality.
I guess we're going to move past that.
Yeah. Do you just equality it, you think? No.
Oh, he doesn't know what trap it is first.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, even if it was a quality, it wouldn't have mattered.
That's true.
Well, now at this
I
point,
think
it's going-
Sylvanas
okay,
is
Sylvanas,
really
okay.
strong here.
Yeah.
Sylvanas or Faceless Hero Power
Faceless
doesn't really
would
do
do
much.
And every turn from here on out, there is something big coming for the Paladin player.
It's true, but at the same time, look at the amount of damage that's going to be coming in. I mean, he's going to get hit
Oh,
in the
man.
face for 6, plus he has Kill Command.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like, the hero power can come out as well.
Oh, the Law of High Main.
Yeah, I mean, he's at 12 HP,
That's
so
true.
I think, and it's like there's still not really a good answer to the high main, so I think the game is almost done.
Well,
I mean, what are you going to do here? I mean, I guess the one thing is if he can live till next turn, then he does have Alexstrasza, but it's like,
Yeah.
what is your turn? Do you just rag and pray or something?
Is he
I mean,
going to live till next turn? Can he do it?
I mean,
if Rag misses the shot, that's game over.
yeah, but I mean, what other move is there? I mean, there's like, you can't, Face Manipulator doesn't do anything for you. None of this stuff does anything for you. I mean, I feel like you kill the owl and you have to rag and pray. I think that's your play.
But even if Rag hits, it's still 4 damage on
I know,
board.
but there's nothing else to do.
But at least you could survive until Alexstrasza.
Yeah, he has to pray. And
Oh, this is a huge Ragnaros. It's got to hit the Savannah
it has
Highman.
to hit the Savannah Highman.
50-50!
Oh!
Is that game? There's 5 damage follow up. He can put him down to 1.
Yeah, I mean, even though
But
he
if
can't
he-
Alexstrasza.
one is the same as 15, so
he can Alexstrasza.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that he is going to survive by 1 HP, skin of his teeth. Now, I mean, the rag hit is going to be big again. I mean, it's obviously the play that is going to come out here is the Alexstrasza. There's no other choice.
Right.
I mean, he's going to go to 15, but his opponent has 12 damage represented here,
Yeah.
assuming Ragnaros hits the wrong target.
Yeah, I mean, if the Ragnaros hits the Hunter
If it hits
Creeper,
the
that's
Hunter
such
Creeper, it
sadness.
actually increases damage. No!
God.
No!
Oh no!
That
What a
sucks.
disaster! And
Oh.
kill command off the top.
Oh!
Kaor is going to the top 8 for BlizzCon.
Wow!
And off of a comeback too. I mean, down a couple of games, it was looking
Alright.
rough for him. And Kaor is going to be able to finish it off here.
Incredible!
Well done and well played. Kaor
Yeah.
is punched his ticket for the top 8.
What a great bluff with that trap early
Yeah,
on in that
I
game.
know.
That was huge.
Got a little bit of help from Nicolas's Ragnaros as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Snuck him a little bribe
Yeah,
before
yeah.
the game started. And we have another player who's punched his ticket to the top 8 to join Taylor Celestial, and it's Kaor from Italy.
Oh,
Again,
awesome.
I
What a
want to
great
remind
match.
people who tuned in that Kaor was a substitute because 2 players from Europe couldn't get, attend the actual event for the qualifier. So he was the next highest player that was ranked up.
wow.
So he got a spot because he was an alternate for somebody
Yeah.
else, and he's here all the way into the round of 8, guaranteed
It really
$7,500.
is
Incredible.
starting to be a bit of one of those Cinderella stories shaping up. I
Yes.
mean,
Yep.
the whole story, playing for his kid and his girlfriend, wanting to open up that shop with her, for his playing for his family, that's his motivation. Not even supposed to be in the tournament. It's like the Rudy of esports here.
Yeah.
He got put in the game and he's going all the way, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm
He's-
really enjoying it.
I don't even think he has Twitter or any social media.
Yeah.
He doesn't stream. He's
This guy
not a
is
popular
awesome.
figure. He's just this is his first tournament run.
Well, he said he'd never been outside of Italy even.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's never
exactly.
left Italy, and now his second time, he got to go to Sweden for DreamHack, and now
Yep.
he's in California. He's becoming a world traveler.
That was, you guys, that game was amazing. That whole match was astonishing.
Can you
Yeah.
remember that series began with Priest versus Priest?
Yeah.
Yeah,
into
God.
Fatigue. quite an explosive start to the day. Let's look at the bracket to see where we sit at the moment. As you saw, the winners match for Group B was determined. Kaor advances in first place. Nicolas will fall to play the winner of Teray versus Reading Hour, which will happen later today. Meanwhile, that means our Group C match will be Firebat versus Kranich. And then that will be followed by Strifeco versus Kalento for Group D, which is something that I do not want to miss. It's been quite a fun day, but don't worry. Also, we'll see Chiro and Green Sheep, and then Run and Gun and Frozen Ice. They will also be playing to wrap out the day.
Yep, definitely gonna be really exciting. And you know, we're going through these winners bracket matches, but the lower bracket matches have such huge implications. I mean, it does suck to lose in the upper bracket, but these players still have their tournament hopes. They still are, in the running for that.
The dream is
100K.
alive.
Exactly. Yep. So it's like, Nicolas, he's not going to be happy that he lost, but he still has a chance at this 100K. Whereas if you lose in the lower bracket, that's that. Your run is over, which is heartbreaking for these players.
It is.
That's right. The clock hasn't struck midnight for this Cinderella story. What do you think about that story and that pun joke, Rachel?
It's a beautiful story, and actually, we have to wonder because DreamHack was your first time leaving Palermo to play Hearthstone. This is your second time. What is it like to go from playing games at home to playing on a big stage with all these fans and these casters?
It's like a dream.
A dream come true.
Yeah.
Well, now that you have all these fans watching, you kind of gotta play to the audience, right? You got people that want to see you put your personality through there, not just see your awesome play. So we missed an opportunity to see a little bit of personality, to see a little bit of taunting there when you could have popped that web spinner. Why didn't you pop the web spinner? We wanted to see what was in there. No, why not?
I don't like that. I don't like that.
You don't like that? Is that too showy?
Yeah.
Well, I saw you guys were using more emotes than I think anybody's used in the game so far this weekend. Is that the preferred way of communication then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Kaor, this is your first time to America, as Rachel was saying. How do you like it here so far?
It's not going to be good. I don't feel like it's going to be good.
I am like confused.
You're confused? Well.
That top deck, man.
Oh, yeah?
Coming
It was a
to
good top
California has been all about the Hearthstone. We forget because we come here and we get to enjoy the food, maybe hang out a little bit. But as soon as they're done playing in the tournament, you're practicing. Have you seen any of California yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you go do in California?
I watch Warner Bros.
What'd you watch?
Warner Bros.
The Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
You went to see that here? Anything else you want to do while you're in California?
No.
No, that was it.
No.
You just wanted to see the Warner Brothers. No
Just
food.
win
What
BlizzCon,
about
maybe.
the food, man?
I am from Palermo.
This is-
We have the food.
All right, we just got shut down. It's true. All right, well, we've got nothing but Hearthstone for Kaor here, but that's just fine because Hearthstone is where you excel. So, guys, if you want to join the conversation, feel part of this little family we have here in Burbank this weekend, join us on Twitter. You can tweet at PlayHearthstone. You can tweet at Artosis. You can tweet at SeltzerFD. Do you have a Twitter?
Yeah.
What's your Twitter?
Kaor Akhes.
You can tweet at Kaor, and we can get some conversation going here. So let us know what you have to say. All right, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, more from the casters.